Okay, it's time we talk about fat. So about a month ago, the United States Department of Agriculture turned the food pyramid upside down, and U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy declared that they were officially ending the war on saturated fats. So with that in mind, I thought now would be the perfect time to discuss what the recommendations are with regards to consumption of fat and have a look at what the science says about fat in the diet and its links to health and disease. So first of all, as you can see here, the new USDA food pyramid puts vegetables and fruits along with protein, dairy, and healthy fats right up at the top of the pyramid, meaning there's a priority for eating these types of foods. And they're explicitly using the term healthy fats to describe the fat that exists in these foods, saturated fat in the meat and dairy, and unsaturated fat in the fish and vegetables. And while the new pyramid isn't giving any specific guidelines as to what percentage of the daily caloric intake should come from fat, the fact that they're recommending Americans to eat more of these foods means that indirectly they're also recommending them eat more fat than they probably were before. And it is worth noting that they're recommending capping saturated fat at no more than 10% of daily caloric intake. Okay, so if you follow these guidelines, then you'll probably eat more fat than you did before. What does the science have to say about this? One recent review, which you can see here, found a strong association between an increased risk of cardiovascular disease with consumption of long-chain saturated fats. These are the types found in meat and dairy, while the same review, as you can see here, also found a neutral and perhaps even positive effect, think reduction in risk of cardiovascular disease, with consumption of short and medium-chain saturated fats. These are found a little bit in dairy, but more in coconut oil and palm kernel oil. One other recent review that you can see here also found a decreased risk of cardiovascular disease with a reduction in consumption of saturated fats, and as you can see here, they suggested a possible alternative of substituting with polyunsaturated fats, which are found in fish oils as well as in many vegetable oils. So, judging by the results of this recent research, it looks as though the USDA's recommendation to consume more high-protein foods, which also have saturated fat, as well as more fruits and vegetables, which have unsaturated and saturated fat, but capping saturated fat at no more than 10% of total daily caloric intake, are probably good recommendations. It's also really important not to think about eating nutrients in isolation. High-protein foods do have saturated fat in them, but they're also literally high in protein, which is essential for building and maintaining muscle mass and optimizing health. Vegetables do have unsaturated and some saturated fats in them also, but they also have vitamins, minerals, and fiber, without which a human cannot survive. So I've put links to the two studies that I've discussed here in the video description, and now I want to know what you think. Did the USDA get it right with the new food pyramid and ending the war on saturated fats? Let me know what you think in the comments below.